Your experience was through somewhat legal means, but do you know of any friends who came through other ways?
Yes, I have a lot of friends, my classmates, who came by boat, like boat people, and that's the harsher way to have gotten out if they made it through. Yes.
So, can you maybe describe what it was like to go through boats?
Yeah. Well, first you would well, because my friends were in Saigon, you have to find ways to get to the countryside, where the ports are not as well watched, and you basically pay for people to take you illegally on boats to get out, and then the idea is to go to Singapore or Malaysia or somewhere there. So, and the constant threat is the pirates that you get, because they know that when you get out, you would have money with you,
Right.
Gold or something. You can't just leave without any means of supporting yourself. So you big praise for pirates when you go out in the open sea, and there's always that threat. So I had two friends who relate to me their stories of being boat people. They never know who is the captain of that boat. They're lucky to have found a way to get out, and you have to pay in gold to get out. And once you're out there, sometimes you get lost in the sea. You don't know when you're going to reach somewhere, and you don't know whether you're going in the right direction. It's really terrifying, not knowing whether you're going to starve to death on the boat or be attacked by pirates, or whether you could see land. So one of my friends was saying that they were out at sea for long days, and they were thirsty. They think they're going to die. It was really bad conditions. There are things where people are so hungry, and you cannot imagine how hungry people can be, where people would eat something that somebody threw up. That's how hungry they were. So she described some of the things on the boat, and then she said that one night they realized that the boat was sinking, and it was dark at night. This is in the ocean, pitch black, and she panicked because she didn't know how to swim, and she was telling me, "Oh my gosh, I should have listened to my parents, go out and take the swim lessons. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die, And the boat was sinking, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, this is it, I'm gonna die in the middle of the ocean." And then it sank, and then she realized that she was in like knee-deep water. This is how bad she couldn't, you cannot tell where you are. This is how bad it is. It was sinking, she thinks she's gonna die in the middle of the ocean, and then suddenly she realized that it was just knee-deep water, that they didn't know that they had reached land. This is how bad it was. It was literally, she said, "Oh my God," she said and that day she said she swore that she was going to learn to swim. But this is how bad it is. You have no idea where you are, and you were thirsty, you think you're going to die, and then suddenly the boat's sinking, and you say, "Oh my gosh, I'm going to die," and then suddenly it's like, and so she went on board, and that was in Malaysia, and she was in camp. She was in camp for I don't know how long she was, but she was in camp, and then they set up tents, and then there were and then from there they have to get processed to go, and then if they have family somewhere, they would try to have the paperwork so that they could be flown to wherever that is.
So the camp in Malaysia, that was not just U.S. It was
No, that was there was some kind of international camp that was set up, but it's very poorly run. It's not as well set up as the U.S. Army base camp. And she was telling me some fun stories too. You know, she's saying that she and her sister were pretty girls, so it helped to have guys who come in to help set the tent and do, because you're pretty much on your own basically. So she said that her father was thinking that, oh, you know, these guys are so gallant and they were so helpful, but really she said, no, it's really because we were pretty. But yeah, there were fun things that she had told me, but it was hard because when you don't know where you're going, when you don't know what your future is going to be, there's always that constant, you know, question mark on the back of your head that, you know, what am I going to do? I have to go back to school, I have to do all that stuff, and somehow she settled in Southern California.
So how she was in the camp in Malaysia, and then eventually came. How did she get to California? To Southern California.
She had relatives, so finally she came to Southern California, and stayed with her relatives while her dad went back to school. Her dad was a doctor in Vietnam, so he went back to medical school, and that was hard for her too because she said that he had to go to Florida because you know that's where he got accepted to go to medical school. Yes. So he went to Florida, and she stayed with her sister while they were going to school, and so it was tough.
Thank you.
And, yeah, and then there was another friend. There were two friends. There was another one where also she came by boat, and the boat was attacked by pirates. And you know, with pirates, they rape you, they do all kinds of things. It's really horrible. They do cavity search, they do all kinds of things. So her boat was attacked by pirates. So she crouched down and she started praying to the Virgin Mary. She was not Catholic, but she was like praying, and somehow she wasn't touched because they were raping people back and forth. I mean, it was horrible. And she just basically crouched down onto a corner and started praying. And then somehow, the pirates stopped what they were doing because there was some alarm that somebody was coming, maybe a patrol boat or something. So they stopped right before they got to her, and so they left. So the minute she got on to the island in Malaysia, she converted to Catholicism because she was saying she couldn't figure out how she was safe, and the only thing she said was, I prayed. Because that was the only thing I could do. I didn't know what else to do. They were coming, and I was just praying, and I was saved. So, yeah, she's.
And how did she get to California?
She went to Washington D.C. She didn't go to California. But again, once you get onto the island, they process paperwork based on who you know and who would sponsor you, and then from there you would go to wherever your sponsors are.
Thank you so much.